What's going on, guys? Today I'm gonna go over 3 amazing tips on how to throw your first punch. So guys, let's jump right into it. Welcome to the RB Effect. Like that? Yeah? Good! Damn! What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Reggie B. So today I was going on my normal run and I was thinking a big important mistake that a lot of people, before they even start learning how to box, they have that mistake of how to even positioning their hands, positioning their feet. Not only that, even do certain fundamentals on when you do as a beginner. So in this video, I'm gonna go over 3 important tips on how to throw your first punch. So guys, let's jump right into this video. You guys ready? Let's get it. Tip number 1, how to go into a fighting stance. A lot of guys and women, before they even start to fight, the first thing that they do, they go into the stance that they're comfortable in. Meaning, if I'm a righty, the first stance that you see a lot of people, especially street fighters, what do? They go right into their southpaw. Not because they're actually lefties, it's because they're dominant with their right hand and they want to do everything. So they want to jab with their right hand, uppercut with their right hand, hook with their right hand. They do everything with their right hand. The left is just pretty much staying behind. The thing that you want to focus first, what is your dominant hand? So if you're a lefty, you should be in southpaw. But if you're orthodox, which means if you're a right hand, then you stand this way. You have your right hand in the rear, nice and back, and you have your jab hand, which is the fast one, lead me to actually throw my dominant hand. Not only that, the way you positioning your feet. A lot of guys, they don't know how to position their feet. They're either too wide or they're too close. The thing that you want to focus on, you want to stay probably a little bit around shoulder width. Also, you don't want to be too squared up. So you see guys, they fight like this, too squared forward. That's not giving me enough movement to go back and forth. So you want to turn your hips a little bit inwards. You want to rotate them a little bit. So you want to be at an angle. Also, another thing, you want to keep your knees nice and bended. You don't want to keep them too stiff, because if someone hits you, you're going to go straight down. You're going to be off balance. You want to be comfortable. Also, you want to keep your hands up at all times. Elbows nice and tucked. You don't want to keep the elbows flared out because that's too many open shots for the body. And if I keep my hands too high, that's too much opening for me to get hooked or get an uppercut. So you always want to keep the hands near the temples or near the chin, knees bended, little bit of turn, and you want to be able to be comfortable and move around depending on your opponent's movement. Tip number 2, how to use your footwork and pivot your feet. For example, a lot of guys, especially when you're throwing a jab, the first important thing before I even show you the footwork, you want to always keep your hands up. And when you throw your jab, you don't drop your hands and then throw. Also, you don't just throw and then drop your hands. You always want to have that A to B movement. Bam, bam. So if I'm throwing a nice quick jab, I'm moving this way, right? Going now onto the footwork. When you're throwing a jab, you always want to move. You don't want to stay in one spot. For example, so if I'm here and I'm throwing a jab, you see how I'm throwing my jab and I'm moving forward as I'm doing it. So I'm here, I'm moving, back. I'm here, back. I'm moving my front foot as I throw the jab. Also, keep in mind, when throwing crosses, throwing hooks, pivot. A lot of people don't realize that back foot is very important on building power. So you want to pivot, never be flat-footed. Flat-footed, it's not, you only go flat-footed when you're throwing that nice hard power. But if the person's moving, you're not going flat-footed, you're going to be too slow. So you always want to keep that pivot and turn. So if I'm making a right, so I'm here, bam, bam, bow. You see how I turn? Rather than just throwing arms, there's no power into that. So I'm here, boom, boom. If I move here, I hear, bow. You see how I'm moving? My pivot, boom, boom, boom. You always want to move as you throw your jab. Tip number 3, exhaling when you punch. A lot of people don't realize the sound effect that you make. People just think that they're making a sound effect. When you're exhaling, you don't realize that it's helping you build up speed and power. Also, exhaling when you punch, for example, if I'm punching, I'm not just doing here. You see people a lot of times, they're not just making the sound effects just to make the sound effects. They're making the sound effect because it's making them blow out their air, so they're not full with air, and then when they're jabbing, it makes them a lot faster. Also, just in case if the person counters, I'm tight. So, for example, if I tell you to tighten up your abs, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna exhale all the air out. So you're gonna tighten up your muscles. Exhale everything. So it keeps you tight just in case if I'm jabbing, or if I'm crossing, or I'm hooking, and the person counters me and we hit each other at the same exact time, I'm at least tight enough to keep myself from falling down, from getting hit, from actually getting hurt when they hit me, so I'm not just so soft. Have you ever gotten hit in the belly and wasn't ready for it? It hurts. But if someone told you, I'm about to punch you right now, and you tighten up your stomach, that's the same exact thing that you do when you're boxing, because all the time you have to anticipate the person hitting you, so you want to exhale every time you throw a shot. There you have it, guys. Keep in mind, it's very important if you're trying to pursue boxing or even just self-defense. You want to have the fundamentals down first. A lot of people just go into the gym, they're thinking they're going to spar, they're going to hit the heavy bag, and they're thinking they're going to come out as a pro. You're not going to become as a pro if you don't know the fundamentals first. Exactly how some people say, you have to learn how to crawl before you run. Same exact thing with boxing. So if you want to really pursue it or really learn how to defend yourself if there's a situation, whether it's street or whatever the case may be, you want to know how to throw a punch, you want to know how to use your stance, you want to know how to exhale and use your speed and power in your defense against the other person. Also, guys, don't forget to hit that notification button so you know my next video comes out. It's your boy Reggie B. Like my video, subscribe to my video so your boy can be back. And if you do that, I'll be real proud of you. Metamorphosis complete.